And also like kind of checking the works of yours. There is one in particular from 2002, which I think is really, really interesting even for the present times of economical crisis. It was the one in 2002 at the venue of Frankfurt Sparkasse Bank of Frankfurt, which was really an unrealized project. The title is who has the money has the power. So can you tell us a bit about this project and why it was not realized in the end?
In Frankfurt exists this bank. It was one of the oldest banks. Even Johann Wolfgang Goethe had his bank account in this bank. And the bank invites every year maybe 8 artists, young artists in Frankfurt, to do a show in a special space in the bank. And normally the artists in Frankfurt, they are quite keen to get this show. And I got invited, and then I thought I want to research on the function of this bank, what they did in the past, especially as well in the Third Reich. And it was easy to discover they were profiting from the Third Reich. They got money from Jewish people who got, they lost their goods, and the bank got maybe the house or whatever. And I researched on the function, what they did, and that the wealth of the bank grew in this period of fascism. And I wanted to make a catalogue on the activities of the bank. And the bank knew that I wanted to research in the archive of the bank, and everything was clear since 6 months. And then 1 month before us to produce the catalogue, the bank said, stop, we cannot go to make something to criticize us. So even the Deutsche Bank, the big powerful bank, started to research what they did during the fascism time period. And this bank, it's a Sparkasse.
Una cassa di risparmio in Italia.
Exactly.
A local bank.
A local bank. Most of Frankfurt people have a bank account there. It's very popular. They said, no, we don't want to have this published in a catalogue. And
what was the idea of the project?
Yeah, the project idea was to have a beehive in this exhibition space, that the bees can fly out to collect the nectar from the trees and bring it to the bank. And the nectar gets gold.
An allegory.
It's an allegory. And this symbol of the beehive is the symbol of the bank in the logo. It was for 150 years.
Okay, so it was into the logo.
Exactly, of the bank. And I wanted to play with this sort of metaphor. And the window would be red foil, with a red foil, because red for the bees is black. They are not flying against red windows. And there would be one window, bit of the window would be open, so they can fly out and come back with the gold. But yeah, it's a pity. It was not allowed.
It's a pity, but probably was a kind of prophetic about
of course it was
the role of the bank.
For me it was more important to stick to my theme and to my idea. And I get, then I told the bank, if you cancel the show, I worked 5 months on it, I want compensation. And I asked for, I think, 12,000 euros compensation, not that they canceled the show. And they gave not 12,000, but they gave quite a lot of money, half is almost, or something like that. So for me, it was on the one side bad that they cancelled, but on the other side, I was sticking to what I want, and if they cancel, it's their problem, not my problem.
There's another project which is really directly political, and it's a project of 2004, which was, I think, produced by the Gallerie Meretich. I don't know if I pronounce it well.
Meretich.
Meretich, exactly. And it happened in Berlin, in Rosa-Luxemburg-Platz, and where you made a sculpture slash installation dedicated to Ulrich Meinhof, one of the founders of the Red Army faction. And so there was a sculpture that you made with the face of Ulrich Meinhof. You could enter inside his face, and inside his face you could find some objects, memories, and letters that she wrote. So
Exactly.
I was very interested in understanding how this piece was received in Germany, how it was reviewed.
This is a question. It's hard to answer for me how it was received. It would be easier if you ask somebody else who is like a journalist how they received it. For me, important was that the site, the Rosa-Luxemburg-Platz, was used from all political radical parties, more or less. It was the Communist Party. In the 20s, they tried to erect a Lenin monument there. And then the Nazis, 20 years later, they erected a monument to commemorate a fascist who got killed by left-wing activists. With a big eagle, swastika, and so the site was a starting point for demonstration, manifestation, and political propaganda. And I wanted to prolong that, but to switch it in an aesthetical way. So I wanted to highlight the political issue of the Red Army faction and Ulrich Meinhof, and of course not to build a monument in a classical way. So she looked a little bit like a witch, but you could see the glasses, and to make it possible that you can enter the head of her was the idea, because the police and the state actually, they decided to take out part of her body, the brain, and to examine that this brain must be crazy or ill, sick, because she was fighting the German democratic capitalist state, and somebody who is doing that, to change from a journalist to radical bewaffneten Kampf, somebody has to be ill. That was what they wanted to testimony, and to say everybody, they even didn't ask the relatives if they can take out the brain. They just did it without any permission. And I thought the texts of Ulrike Meinhof, they came out of her brain thinking, and I want to just document them. And they show she was thinking very clear. It was not ill. It was, you can criticize if you don't like it, but it's very straightforward thinking. And so it was a mixture of this working with the public space, how it was used and misused in the time of fascism, and to make it even more politicized in the nowadays contemporary way. And I used as well it was as well a reference to the close by theater, the Volksbühne, because there was one staged play. It was called Ulrike Meinhof by Johann Krestek. It's a dance play, contemporary dance, and there was a strong relation to the site actually. And that's what I wanted to talk about, the site. but in a way people don't know, and yeah.
And as a last question, let's come to the, let's say, to the very present. We have been spending together the last 3-4 days working at S.a.L.E, and I mean we're very happy of having the chance of working with you. And so I mean there will be basically a mezzanine for S.a.L.E, and I'm not very interested in whether you consider it a piece of art or a mezzanine. I'm very happy about, you know, the relation that we built with you. But I mean, just a few words. Could you say something about these things at S.a.L.E? I don't know.
I mean, when I discovered this opportunity, I thought, of course, S.a.L.E space, S.a.L.E Dock is an amazing space. A lot of opportunities, and I of course wanted to support as much as I can that this space is able to survive within a time which is so much oriented to capitalizing, and this is a space which is not just capitalizing anything, it's just to produce cultural critique in one way or the other. And of course it's open and there's no control on it, and this is good. And a space which is organized collectively, and I hope the mezzanine, the second floor, can help to make the organizing of this space a little bit easier. That was my understanding of the idea, to create a space from where you can organize the exhibitions. So it's more or less for the people who are organizing S.a.L.E Dock as an office, as a that you retreat, you can sit down, maybe you will have a sofa or even a bed to sleep or whatever. So a space which is helping the community to organize S.a.L.E Dock.
Thomas, thank you very much, and
I think.
And maybe next year we'll have the third floor then.
Exactly.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Thomas Kilpper.
Great.